Morning, folks. Downtown Kalamazoo, Michigan. This is our old courthouse. It was built in 1937. Little Art Deco architecture. It was closed a couple years ago when the new $90 million plus facility was built over here just a couple blocks away. And a local company purchased this property. And there's some new announcements. It's going to be happening here. I'll be right back. Of course, the courthouse is right here on Bronson Park. Has been since 1937. Before that, the original courthouse sat here. It was quite a building. The large gold statue of justice that sat on the top of the old courthouse is now just over here, block and a half away, 2 blocks away, displayed in the Kalamazoo Valley Museum for all to see for free. Right here on this location, you see this little patch of grass and so forth. Used to be where the old jail was built. This is where the old jailhouse stood. Right here. And it was an old stone building, shuttered barred windows that really looked lousy. Up here on the roof of this courthouse, though, used to be the jail. See those top windows running along there? Okay, that was the jail up there. On the roof itself is the yard for the jail. There's areas up there for the inmates to walk around and exercise and so forth. Years later, when it was moved out of here to another location, the upper floor right there is used as prosecutor's office and so forth. Large old courtrooms in here, all done in old paneled and old hardwoods. Really something. We'll go up and see if we can take a look inside. It's seen better days, but there's supposed to be some better days coming. Announcement was made that approximately $100 million is being made available through different taxpayers funding and so forth, that this is going to be renovated into a name brand hotel chain. 127 rooms, lobby bar, on-site parking, and so forth. Be right back. Now, before the terrorism, this is the way that we had to go to court. Either up the front steps that look just like this on the opposite side of the building, on the north side of the building, or the south steps we're on right now. There are 2 end entrances. The one on the west was used after the terrorism. There's a big hornet's nest hanging there on that window. Yeah, and that was primarily used. Building needs a little bit of limestone cleaning. Yep. Needs some maintenance. When I was a boy, all these panels right here were shiny, and they're in need of some restoration. Let's see if we can look inside. When they stopped letting people smoke inside of public buildings, this was the smoking area right out here. And then they made the whole property non-smoking. Let's look inside. Here you go. That's the upper lobby. You can see the beautiful Art Deco fixtures hanging from the ceiling. You should see the deco work in here. It is something else. Look at the registers off here to the side. The whole building's like this inside. Beautiful. This little area right here is where the bronze veterans memorials were, honoring all branches of the service. They have been removed. The flag is still here. It's a good sign. But, and another good look here this morning, 1836, First Baptist Church right there. Yep. The new over $90 million courthouse So that's right here. Okay, and so it's going to be about 10 million more than what that cost to build, to renovate the old courthouse into the new hotel. Of course, here's the west entrance they used after the terrorism. This is the underground parking where the vans from the jail bring the men and women down here shackled and handcuffed, and they exit the van into the bullpen, which is a holding cell area just there to the right inside those doors. It's a heavy-duty facility, and if you've seen it, it'd scare the hell out of you. That's real prison down there in that basement. That's just a holding cell. Crummy little toilet in the corner. Everybody's standing there, 30, 40 men in an open cell. Yeah, not good. The ladies' cell is just behind the men's cell, and then there's 4 little singular holding cells for federal prisoners. And if you're up there in court in a trial, they hold you in there because you can't be dressed in civilian clothes and locked up in the bullpen with the rest of the inmates, so to speak. Anyways, that's a horror story coming in and out of those doors right down there. The side entrance, of course, we just talked about. Right here, so we'd go through the metal detectors and everything back into the day, and then we'll look around here at the front. Of course, old downtown Kalamazoo. This is Michigan Avenue, Michigan News Agency building. Again, rest in peace, Deanie Hauk, until she passed away earlier this year, late last year. She owned the longest lived business, continually operating business here in Kalamazoo. Now I believe it's Louis Trophy Shop, it's a bar, or it is it's Bimbo's Pizza on the same street, the front of the courthouse. Okay, we have all kinds of hotels, a new one being built between here and the new courthouse straight ahead. Other hotels downtown here. Of course, the Radisson over here on the corner. And then this one. Now the $100 million, okay, is coming. And this is kind of a hard word for me to say, so you're going to have to bear with me, but it's called a transformational brownfield program. And this program allows the developer to use money from taxpayers, property and so forth, taxes, local taxpayers, to fund this. If it was not for that taxpayers' help, projects like this would have a hard time getting off the ground. That $100 million goes to paying for the demolition, construction, and restoration of the properties. And so that's what's going to be going into here. The word demolition, they can't tear this building down or even change the facade, okay, until after 2036, I believe it is. 35 or 36, and then they can scrub the whole outside of this and take everything off it. Every word, every design. And these were not pressed into something in China and then sent here to the United States to be put up on a wall. These are hand carved, okay? I'll be right back. This is quite the little construction project when it started back in the day. Man, I don't think those fellas ever thought that this would ever be changed or done away with in any way, shape, or form. Wow. Right back. Yeah, if that ain't the truth. The project of transforming this courthouse into the new hotel is to be completed by 1918. Let's get it right? 2031. So, probably by the end of 2031, beginning of 2032, you'll be able to come down here and stay. Get you a room. Yep. Lord knows there's been a lot of men and women pass through this building that's been sent to a room. The iron barred room. And that's for sure. There were times, and I heard about them, when people were set free by the jury, found not guilty, and they come running out of that front door right there, just jumping and hooting and hollering, and people out here all to, meet with them and hug them and welcome them, and you're free. You've been found not guilty. And right there out of those doors, I was down here one time, over here in the park taking pictures. I was in high school then, when a big fracas started over here. I thought, I wonder what the heck's going on. A jury found a gentleman not guilty, and they're coming out, really partying, having quite a time. I don't know what that case was about, but it sure meant a whole heck of a lot to a bunch of people. Yeah. So, and I know that there's the opposite effect through those doors too. I can tell you all about opposite effects in this building. A lot of good effects too. A lot of really creepy, freaky people sent up the pipe out of these courtrooms. Right up here, this is Judge Lipsey's courtroom. You can see how tall those windows are. That's how tall the ceilings are in that courtroom. All right, his chambers right back here. That was his window. You'd be looking right out that window. You're in here during trial. You can look out those windows when you stand up. They take you in and out of the courtroom, and you can see out there for just a brief moment across over here at the park, people all walking around doing their thing. You're thinking to yourself, man, I wonder if I'll ever be over there walking in the park or even out. Goes through your mind, this might be the last look at something like that you'll see. And believe you me, all of my subscribers and those that watch, it was the last look. Several years for me. Another story. All right. I'd like to go back in that courtroom one day and take a look around, but this is all privately owned now. I've tried to get access in here, making phone calls. There are no tours. They didn't give one. Well, they did give one last look and say goodbye to the building to local people that were architects and historians and things like that. They didn't open it up to the general public, come through and say one good last goodbye. I have no doubt that if they did that, there'd be people in here that'd be peeing on the walls. I'm gonna go take a dump on that in that courtroom or whatever, or spray paint stuff, So yeah, they can't do that. There was too many bad feelings that came out of this building for whatever reason to allow the general public to come back in here and look around. But if any of you have that power to get me into this building legally, and I can have a look around, it'll take just 1 hour. I can sweep this building and do what I need to do in here with my camera in 1 hour. So if you can give old Edward here access to the old county building, I'd sure appreciate it. You can see the milkweed is growing. During the tornado back in 1980, this was the ISB building. Sat right next to the YWCA. All the windows in this building were blown out. You look at the Kalamazoo tornado 1980 pictures. And right here along the curb, you see this gentleman walking this direction? Okay, that's where big trees were knocked over during the tornado in the park, killing a man on a motorcycle about right there where that fella is. And they didn't find him for several hours because of such a mess and everything going on down here. And when they got around to it, he sees a guy laying dead under a motorcycle. And it's haunted, it really is. A lot of people see that guy down here. It's pretty freaky, but it's true story. Of course, the Exchange building right here was a parking lot. Before that, there was other buildings here in this whole block that were tore down years ago, back before I was down here. Early 60s, late 60s, this was always a parking lot. And then beyond it, a building with ghost signs we can look. Here's the entrance to the bullpen right down here. This is where they drive you down in. We've seen the opposite entrance. And we see the east side. And of course, looking down the little alley here, it's West Exchange Place now. All the way down to the Art Deco American National Bank building at the end. All right. Inside this entrance, it's the east ground entrance. You can just see a nice deco lamp or light fixture hanging there, and of course the marble walls and the terrazzo flooring. Down here a little bit lower, you can see some of the flooring and so forth. Oh boy. The company that owns the old courthouse now, located right there. They own a lot of these structures around Kalamazoo and so forth. Quite an outfit. You can see as the trees here grow, it pulls up this iron grating off the ground. That's a good toe popper right there. Hope their insurance is paid. Yes, now this is, of course, Greenleaf Trust. The head of this organization is the husband of Rhonda Stryker, the president of Stryker Pharmaceuticals. To make an investment here, come in and open an account, so to speak, $2 million minimum investment, and you can be involved. I love the security on the top of the building, all four corners, casino quality cameras. I always get a kick when people bring up the fact, oh, my camera is casino quality. My security system is as good as what the casinos have. Jeez. All right, one little last look down here before we go and see what kind of quality I can get into today. This is good quality footage. I don't know if it's casino quality, but it's a winner. You know, might not be triple black bars all the way across, but it's single black bars. You got something chinking down there in that little nickel plated tray. Yeah, there's been a couple of one-armed bandits in here. There's been a couple of two-armed bandits in here. Yeah, casino quality. And that's something. All right, we're gonna get upon the day. The city truck's all warming up right here. Go around and pick up the trash. This is our trash pickup right there. They're going through the Bronson Park. They do it in the mornings. Make sure there's homeless people. Of course, they camp out here. And occasionally we'll say, this morning it's looks uncamped. They're bagging all the meters. You can see the meters, the traffic meters, parking meters are being bagged. There's going to be an event down here today. I'm going to be in another part of the county. I promise that I'll be back down here and do a in-depth video of the topiaries and so forth here in Bronson Park. No parking by police authority. Okay, we'll take one little look at some giraffes this morning. We'll take a look at the hiker. This is a Ruggles statue. Super bronze. There's several of these all over the United States. I think there's 52 or 54 of them. There's one up in Lansing on the grounds of our capital. I think the state with the most of them is Massachusetts. I think they have 3 of these statues. It's called the Hiker. It commemorates the Spanish-American War veterans. Teddy Roosevelt, the Rough Riders, so forth. Yep. Carrying an old Krag Jorgensen 30-40 carbine. I've owned them. He has the full rifle. I had the cavalry carbines. I owned more than one of them back in the day. There it is. 1898-1902. Erected by the cities of Kalamazoo and the county to commemorate the valor and patriotism of those who served in the war with Spain, the Philippine insurrection, and the China relief expedition. I believe the Marines went in on that one. Dedicated May 30th of 1924 under the auspices of Richard Westnage, Camp number 16, United Spanish War Veterans, Department of Michigan. Westnage Street is named after Mr. Westnage, of course. Bronson Park. We'll be back here, like I say. I'm gonna do a thorough topiary walk. Gotta love the lions. And just about right here is where that gentleman on his motorcycle was killed by the fallen trees. Yep. All right. So long, Courthouse. I can tell you that for me it's mixed feelings. Up until a certain day, everything was fine with me in there. And a certain day came, everything turned a little different. But I'm here now. I'm not looking out that window right there at the people in this park wondering if that would ever be me one day. Yep, now I am. I'm right here looking right back at it. Have a great day. No hard feelings. But possibly as I'm walking along here with this pavement tore up the way it is, you can see 3 layers. We'd be down to the bricks. Okay? Well, there is right over here. I'll show you. You won't see this again. Just like you can see the old bricks here, the back of the Baptist church. It's all tore off. You can see where there used to be windows right there and so forth. Went back to another facility, so to speak, that was back here. This was raised a number of years ago. When they did that, now when the lights are on next door, at least that's a congregational church right there. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stained glass. It's really something. My cousin and his wife were married in there, in that church back in the day. Only time I've been in there. This little area here is supposed to be a play zone for children. You come in here. It's supposed to be open to the public. The whole thing. And I don't believe it has opened. I think it's been sitting here like this for the last 3 or 4 years. I could be wrong, but I never see anybody here, and it's all locked up and gated off. I guess they've changed it into something for next year, June of 2025. I don't believe that this is public. There's more to it. Okay, we're gonna look through some layers of pavement right now. And again, you're not gonna see this. This will be probably the last time you'll see this. You can see all the layers of pavement have been broken away over the years and so forth. exposing the original brick street, that this was all brick back in the day, and they paved over it. Of course, this will all be tore up. This whole grounds here will be completely tore up and repurposed. Who knows if they're gonna, they said parking, they may put some parking structure here, I don't know. But when the hotel takes this over and begins their work, I'll come down here and try to get one of these bricks, I promise you. All right, be right back. Now, back in the day, this is a whole different use right here. We'll talk about that in a short. See you in the next one. Thanks for coming along today. I appreciate it. If you like this video or any of my videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And we'll see you in the next one. That thumbs up, that helps too. Have a great and safe day.